What's cracking, everybody? You already know what it is. You already know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing here. But you don't know what I'm going to say. To keep it a buck, what is there to say? What is there to talk about that everyone else isn't talking about already? Or what is there to touch on? What topic? What subject? Really, there's nothing. Everything that we can talk about has already been talked about, right? It just depends on what part of it we're getting into of whatever we're talking about, right? And where I come from in California, there's always been a stigmatism that's been placed on rappers of Mexican descent. I won't say the other words. I'm not going to say Latino and Hispanic. I'm not going to say that. Those are foreign to guys like me. I'm going to just say Mexican. And ever since a Mexican got in the rap game in the early 90s, it's been called Chicano rap. And I'm not the only one that feels like this. There's a lot of people that feel like this. Some people take it as a term now that it's like endearing to say, oh, I'm a Chicano rapper. But I never liked the term. It kind of got forced on us, right? And I think that it's really stupid. It's dumb. And it's always been dumb. I never liked it. My music, when I was doing it, didn't sound nothing like what was down in LA. It didn't sound nothing like what was up in the Bay Area. It was just my own thing that we came up with, learning the process and going through the experience of trying to produce beats, trying to project what I want in beats to the guy that's making them for me. That's how we learned, you know what I mean? But when you're a Mexican and you're from California, and you get in the music game, if you get in the music game, the music industry, you throw your hat in that game, you spend some money, you record some songs, you do your thing, what's the mindset behind it? I would think that the mindset is to be very, very successful, right? That's what my mindset was, this successful. Did I make millions off of my music? No, not at all. Not even close. Did I make some money off my music? Yes. Did I stay in the red on my music? No, I got out of the red pretty quick. Within my first year or two of actually going hard in the music business, 01 and 02, a lot of opportunities start coming my way. I met a few people, did some things, but I learned the stigmatism that they tried, and the stigma, not stigmatism, but the stigma that they would place on us simply because we're Mexican, we're rappers, and we're from California. So people would categorize me as something. They would see me and hear my music and knew I wasn't that. I never fit the Chicano rap mold. It was never my thing. Did I grow up wearing khakis? Did I grow up wearing Cortez? Did I grow up wearing white t-shirts with my hair slicked back when we did have hair? Yeah, because I want to say we were the first Mexicans to ever be bald, because I was bald in 1979. I was bald in 1978. That's the way my dad cut all of our hair when he was around. So I always joke that we had to be the first bald Mexicans, because back in the 70s, 80s, and up to the early 90s, a lot of the homies had slick back hair with the hairnets. You see what I'm saying? That was Chicano culture. Well, I'm from in Fresno, that culture kind of went by the wayside, but it all depended who you hung out with. It all depended who you hung out with. And it's crazy because we still had a bit of that Chicano culture in our lives, but more so learning and interacting with Mexicans from Mexico, from Acapulco, Guerrero, from Sinaloa, from Michoacán, from Monterrey, Nuevo León, you know what I'm saying? From Veracruz, Chiapas, Guanajuato, León, Guanajuato, Nayarit, Jalisco, Colima. I mean, everywhere. Mexico City. I met dudes from everywhere in Mexico. So we hung out with straight Mexicans. And back in those days, we would call them paisanos because I would hear them talk to each other. ¿Qué onda paisa? ¿Qué onda paisano? Hey, ve a hablar con tu paisa. Te está hablando tu paisa. You know, that was the lingo. Now, if you say, you call somebody a paisa or whatever, it's disrespectful. It's taken disrespectful. It's not taken as a term of endearment like it was back then. I don't know why the fuck my camera's doing that. But back then, that's how we spoke. And I was from California, born and raised in Fresno. But I was growing up around Mexicans when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, all the way. When I say Mexicans, I mean actual Mexicans from Mexico, native Mexicans, right? We're all the same, from the same continent. We all got the same blood, but we got to be politically correct here, right? My camera's fucking tripping right now. What the fuck is going on, bro? I don't know why it's tripping, but see, so I grew up around straight Mexicans, and I had my homies that were from the street. I had my homies that were bulldogs, that were banging. My brothers eventually started doing that. It's all that I was running around with. They were all heavy in the game. Some of them were all in and out of juvenile hall. Then some went to YA. Then some went to fucking prison. And that was just the get down of it. That was the gist of kind of like the totem pole, how you ended up, how you did your thing. The whole thing is you weren't shit unless you went to prison. That was the mentality. And that was the mentality that me and my brothers took. But thank God we had a shift there where we were just going to be smarter about our crimes, and we weren't going to be as stupid. Because the whole thing was to purposely kind of get caught and go to prison because you got to show your shit up in there, not knowing how the bulldogs are really getting down in prison. Not knowing, only hearing from homies telling stories, right? But not seeing it firsthand and understanding the get down and how things had to be played out politically when it came to politics is all I'll say about that.